Hello there. We're going to be doing the acoustic guitar part for Gungor's Beautiful Things. In the original, you'll hear it. Actually, if you're listening to the original version, it's in D. We're going to be doing it in C. And also, it's a drop D tuning in the original, which we won't do for our part in here. So a lot of this is not exact. It's going to just be kind of a close approximation. So we'll see how it sounds. Anyway, I'm playing an F, but I'm doing the F in the second inversion, which means the C is going to be in the bass, the fifth in this. And it looks like this. It looks like, you know how you make an E chord? Just because you're just going to move it up one fret. Now here's the deal. You don't want to hit the other strings along with it, or else it'll sound awful. Unless you like dissonance. Some people do. I do sometimes, but not for that song. So I only play the strings that I'm actually fretting here, which is going to be the third fret of the fifth string, the third fret of the fourth string, and the second fret of the third string. So you have the, and what you're going to do is you're going to have a little pattern that you play, and I'm doing hybrid picking on this. You don't have to. You can alternate from, to hit the middle two strings and then hit the fifth string. So it's one and two. I prefer it. It's a little better sounding, and I think he might even be doing it himself. Gungor might be. So you're gonna do. You can pluck the center two strings, then just hit with your pick the fifth string and alternate, and then it's gonna go to the next chord because after two beats you're on the next one. The next chord is an F2 with a sharp 4. And basically it's a sus because there's no third in this. So it's hard to write that out on a chart because it's pretty long there. F, sus2, sus sharp 4. Anyway, so we just put F2 sharp 4. And basically what that means is a suspension. It takes place of the third being the A in this chord, F, F-A-C. So that a regular suspension would be a B flat. We're not in that key. We're actually using the four. We're making the suspension on the fourth chord of the key, which is in C. So F is 4. If you count up the musical alphabet, C, D, E, F. There's your 4. Anyway, so we'll have the. You can have. It's basically a lot like a G with an F bass, or in this instance C bass, but there's that same chord, just a different shape. Anyway, we're going to use the fifth here. We're going to keep that droning C in the bottom there, so you're going to move up to the fourth fret of the third string, the fifth fret of the fourth string, and then you're going to keep that low C in the third fret of the fifth string. So it's like. That again. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make, how you made your F, you're going to do the same thing on C. So it's going to put a low G in there. You won't hit that first. You're going to be hitting the C first, which is the fifth string. And there's a pattern. It's taking the root of the chord, the C, and it's hitting the fifth, which is the G down at the bottom, and then it jumps up to the fourth string. So that's, if you listen to the intro, that's where it ends. It just kind of rings through. But you'll use the same chords on the verse. So it's like. So then he'll start singing at that point. So it's like. Now, at the end of that verse, there's a little riff going on. So let me break that down for you. So you still play the C, then the G, then the E here off the second fret of the fourth string, and then you're going to play the open G, which is the third string open. So it's like. Then you take your first finger off that fourth string, so it exposes the D, play that, hammer on your E again, and then play the third string open again. So it's like, let's try that again real slow. Okay, try that again. Fifth string, sixth string, fourth string, third string, then expose the open D there on the fourth string, hammer it back onto E, then play the open G again at the end of it. And then you go back to your other chord. It's real convenient because you just kind of move back down one string each. After you've done that 3 times, you're going to be going to the A, and I prefer, I think he's playing a higher, but it'd be easier for you to just use the open, and it's a richer sound. So you can bar the first, the second and third string actually at the 5th fret there, and this is where hybrid picking comes in real handy, because you don't have to, you know, if you were trying to miss the string in between, instead of doing that, it's really easy if you just pluck with those. Very simple chord. It's an A minor. You have your C here and your E and your A and a little bit the open A there. So it's. Then you're going to go to a G5. The best way to do that is just to take your third finger and take the second string's 3rd fret, and then reach over with your second finger and hit the low G on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. And that's, or you could do it the closer way, which is you make it an A minor, a small form 4 chord here, which is the 7th fret of the 4th string, and the 5th fret of the 3rd and 2nd. On the G5, you just, what you do is you play the 5th fret of the 4th string there, and then you have, you know how you tune, right? Off that 5th fret, you have the open 3rd string, and then take your D here off your 2nd string, the 3rd fret. So you can do it that way too. And you can go back to your other. Okay, so that's your verses. Let's talk about the choruses a little bit. The choruses are kind of, in the beginning, he's just kind of hitting 2 and 4 with those chords. It's like you. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's talk about those chords though. We're doing a C5. So it's C on the 5th string's 3rd fret, G on the 5th fret of the 4th string, and then right below it on the 5th fret on the 3rd string, another C. C5. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And now all we're going to do is we're going to take our 4th finger off of this one and add the second finger to the 3rd string's 4th fret. And this gives you kind of it's a C5 with a major 7. So you have no 3rd in that chord. Here's a tricky one. This one's a C6, but it does have the 5th in it. So it's like you're going to have to use your 2nd and 4th finger for that C5, and then add your A there off the 3rd string's 2nd fret. Now on this next one, so we got 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Sorry, don't hit the 1 like I just did. You don't want to do that. So you again, so you have the C5, and C major 7, C6. This is another major 7. Here, what I'm doing here is I'm actually 3rd fret, 5th string, 2nd fret, 4th string, 4th fret, 3rd string. I hit hit that once, then you can take your pinky off and expose the G. And then here, all I'm doing is I'm holding that C note, hitting these two strings open. The middle two strings are going to be open. And I'm hammering on my first finger to the second fret of the fourth string. So it's can't seem to help. I want to hit the downbeat because there's nothing there. So the last time through that, you don't go to the major 7, you go back to the C5. So it's like this. C6, C major 7, C5 again, C major 7, C6, and this time you go to C5, and then back to. So that's going to give you back to the it's basically like the intro, a little short little tag, a 2-measure tag, and then you go to the next verse. Okay. There's a bridge, which is kind of a guitar solo thing. Just follow the chords, you know. Fairly easy. It's like C. Sorry, F. Let me get those exactly for you. So that's C major, E minor, fairly easy, F. Now the way I'm making an F here, you could just do a regular F bar chord, and then when you do the F2 sus4, you can kind of. So let's go in C, E minor, F. Let's see. Now here, if you want to get fancy with the inversions, you can do that. You can do. But I would suggest, since you're playing acoustic and you got other instruments doing that, just to go ahead and play the same thing that you did on that first 4 bars there, that bridge. There's a little part at the end with that G7 over B, and that it will fit. If you do just play those first 4 bars again, you'll be fine. So anyway, enjoy. Take care.